right. Now I have audio because I had the microphone muted. Good night. All right. Welcome to the podcast. I am the Mag-Conservative crime fighter, Stephen Lucas, here on the Crimeycade, another edition of the program. And, well, last week we were supposed to have Chris Blackie, but he could not make it. And I'm about to be joined by a troublemaker. Like, not even 5 seconds into this podcast, he already wants to jump in and crash the show. Oh my gosh. Here he comes. Here he comes. This little demon, this troublemaker extraordinaire, this idiot. Yeah. This idiot has to be the center of attention at all times. Devious little brat cat. Yeah, where's the, yeah, let's see the Cody emotes. There you go. There's the Cody emotes. Yeah, put those Cody emotes on the screen. Well, what do you want, little boy? It's like, this isn't the Cody show. This is the Crimeycade. You think this is your show? No, it's not your show. It's my show. So sit down and shut up. Stop raising a ruckus. Anyway. I guess I will start the program off with, oh good gosh. This cat just activated it. Yes. The cat apparently knows how to play with the keyboard too. So yeah, I have a few different problems here. Good gosh. Jeez. Yeah, wear a dark blue shirt, navy blue, and that's the worst thing to wear when your cat has orange and white fur. Anyway, so this has been the week. Oh, I got the wrong thing out here. I need to pull that out. There you go. This has been my week so far. Yes, last weekend I went out to the Galloping Ghost arcade and for a 3-day weekend. My weekend started last Friday. Half day at work, and I had to hightail it down to the DeCoins State Fair for the second week in a row, which I'd never had previously gone to the Coin State Fair, and I was needed as film crew, so they had live wrestling down there, and I had to be the person to film the action for Epic once again, because they had nobody else handy, and I got to see stuff at the other state fair that I hadn't seen at the one in Springfield, so So it was hot though. It was real hot. So after Friday, I had hightailed it home. That was like 50-mile drive. After the show was over, after I walked the fair a little bit, hightailed it back to Springfield because I wanted to go, since it was Labor Day weekend, go up and play at the Galloping Ghost arcade for 3 days. I haven't had a 3-day weekend at Galloping Ghost in quite some time and kind of needed it, especially if I'm chasing any scores, which I was able to get a few, but I wasn't able to hold on to them for very long. So why not just pull this up now? Here it is. And last 7 days, these were the scores that were house highs. Now, I had Castle Dragon for Monday, and it was read out Monday, but Andrew came into the arcade. Yeah, he was not there on Labor Day, strangely enough. And of course, he retook Castle Dragon after I took it and broke the 1 million mark. I'm thinking he got as far as level 6. I had some sort of fluke where he completed the 5th level, and then there was a climbing thing, but didn't get very far up. It's like jumped up to the first platform, and then it's like went back to see if I missed anything, and it killed me. It's like, how did it kill him? It just didn't drop, just dropped down one like a little bit. That was kind of ridiculous. Anyway, I did get Cyberlip. I raced my, well, I already had Cyberlip. I just raced it. I got all the way to the, which boss is it? Well, almost. I got to the boss before the boss rush level, so, and some sort of missed jump, ended my run early. I think next time I'm on the game and I'm doing a little better, maybe I can 1cc Cyberlip. Space Dungeon, that was fun. It's a twin stick shooter. I streamed it live on this channel. I had an easier time, supposedly, playing the game. I'm going to orient this over here. Yes. I was grinding on Space Dungeon and managed to get 66,000. Got about 4 levels in. The game gets pretty tough. Enemies speed up, and then there's just like no way to avoid them or get it shot. So, it is what it is. Trying to hide some stuff here. There we go. Turn that off. Anyway, we're awaiting Jacob Grimm. He had to, his job is taking longer than he thought it would, and so he's going to be a little late. Of course, he's also on Arizona/Pacific time, so while it's 10 after 9 here in Illinois, in Arizona it is 7:11 p.m. Arizona does not observe daylight savings time at all. They stay standard time all year round. So it's Mountain Standard Time / Pacific time. Anyway. Cosmic Alien. Now, that game was revealed as the Monday Mystery Game. I had the top score Monday night. However, that got beat. James White got on the game yesterday and went to town. Now, the world record on Cosmic Alien is 933,000. That was achieved in 2018 at the Arcadery in the Czech Republic. So, it's like Galaxian, but it's not, it doesn't, the mechanics of Galaxian do not necessarily apply to this game. And you know what? I'm going to pull that video up because it's going to be a little bit of time before Jacob makes it in here. Cosmic Alien Arcade World Record. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Oh gosh, it's not coming up. Let me try Arcade. Oh, I'll just do it this way. Here we go. We should get it. Let's see. Here it is. Oh. Okay. Now, let's see if I can percent shares. I gotta stop the screen. Okay. Percent share screen window. Here we go. Here's Cosmic Alien. There's Cosmic Alien. As you can see, yeah, the mechanics are kind of similar to Galaxian. And the strategy here, the player is trying to take the side ships off and then shoot the Gal boss, I guess, in this case. Now, big bonus if you can. Ooh, he got it. Starts off at 400 and then goes all the way up to 2,400 points. If you maximum of 2,400 points, which is a big bonus, can actually pick these enemies off when they are returning to formation. And his strategy was wipe out the lower 3 rows of aliens before dealing with the main bosses here. Is he gonna get it? Oh, he missed. See if he gets it. You got it. Now, if you defeat all the enemies and leave one, it will transform into a giant alien. I don't know if it's worth any more points than normal, but that's the name of the game, is basically run up the score as high as you can. And you know what? Why didn't I make this bigger? There we go. Put it in theater mode. Why not put it in theater mode? Yeah, put it in theater mode. Ha! Anyway, who we got in the chat? Keep me company. Say hello if you're watching. So here we go. Now he's gonna took out. So he now knows where it's coming on the screen by leaving that middle alien up that formation, and it was able to pick off the boss for big points. And that was the strategy for running up the score on this game. I mean, this run took about an hour and a half. Now, after level 7, well, when you get to level 7 on this, you'll get a little bit of an interlude where it will basically tell you what screen you're on. But that's from level 7 onward. When you get to, if you clear 99 waves, it gets to screen 0 and it stays on screen 0 for the rest of the game. I only get 4 ships, and also your cannon gets moved up. So enemies can fly under you and nail you from underneath if you're not careful. See, now watch. He's going to take the formation out. Oh, he got them all. He got all 4. Now it's hard. Now the firing rate is not as good, or not as good as Galaxian. See, here he comes into place. Get that. Boom. 2,400 points. Got maximum points out of that. Anyway, when I get back up to Galloping Ghost, I'm probably going to try this strategy and see how far I can get. Since James White didn't conquer my score pretty easily here. Anyway, we'll move that. Now, we'll go back to the presentation I had. Screen window. Go back over here. All right. Also of note, Chris Blackie was back in the house. Brian Colin stopped by to the arcade on Saturday. A little bit of autograph signings, and Chris Blackie, in honor of Colin's visit, decided to take on Deathstalker again, and he managed to beat his previous high score by about 150 points. I think the maximum is going to be somewhere close to about 64,000, and that'll be it. And this cat's trying to interfere again. KG now has an official Legend of Cage score, as apparently they lost the 600,000 run. And then Para Baseball now has the 9-inning rule, biggest blowout, and 1/4. Okay, moving on. The results of the Underground Retrocade Summer Big Dog Tournament are in. And Jeff Stillman is victorious, defeating Catherine Bozzi, who had been leading the pack for the last few months. Stillman caught up and surpassed Catherine. Also, Ross Haggis tried to, was also chasing after Catherine, but victorious Jeff Stillman is the big dog of the Underground Retrocade. The tournament ended on Labor Day, and I think I'm going to enter this thing next year. I don't believe there's any prize for winning this, but you never know. I haven't seen a prize announced for this. But you know what? This looks like something I want to tackle, and just about everybody, a lot of people participate in this tournament. They had 3 months all summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day to run up the score and see how many points they could get. And the chase for tokens. The chase for tokens is on. James White, of course, with that Space Dungeon score, got to 9,200. Oh, I didn't mention this. I'll get to it in a second. Because I kind of need to mention something. Well, after I run through this here. James White got 9,200 tokens. Andrew Awasco is floating under 8,700. Well, he actually dropped from the previous week. I don't know what happened there. And I finally surpassed the 7,000 mark. And just about 150 away from Jamie Tibbetts. Maybe in my next visit, I'll finally catch up and surpass Tibbetts on the token count. But I gotta find some big counter tokens. And the rest of the pack, Mossy's at 64.5. Pete Hahn raised his mark a little bit. Oh, yeah. Pete Hahn retook the house high on Ani, which was the last T20 game to be unveiled with Para Baseball. So, let's go to the next slide here. The power rankings. Well, there's been a little bit of a change in number of tokens, but the order's still the same. I got up to 10th place. However, that's not going to hold because Joe Snively stopped in and he took one of my scores, Turbo Miss Pac-Man. So I got to retake that. Did that on Monday when I was preparing to head home. That stunk. Oh well. So yeah, not much of a change here. And then I moved up 2 spots. And then congratulations to the Garcade. Brooke Anderson put in a monster score. He's only like 1,500 points away from the arcade world record. And the Garcade won it pretty much in the last few hours of August. I mean, Chloe Gwen managed to put in 45,000 points. Andrew Owasco put in 67,000 to put GGA in the lead on the last day, but it just didn't happen because this kid right here took it home. This was a monster score, and there's no way to counter that. Joe Snively, I guess Joel Snively could have put up a monster score, but he wasn't there August 31st when we needed it. The next game will be announced at some point in the future. We don't know what it is, but hopefully we'll find out in the very near future. Oh, one other thing. Yes, the Crimeycade has a new Facebook page. I need followers for this. I got 26 followers, and it stopped. And I've had the page for a month. I need 100 followers to stream on Facebook, in addition to Twitch. And Norbert Vale, who's celebrating a birthday today, is in the stream chat. Jacob Grimm has arrived. So let's bring him in right now. Introducing the man who has finished, actually, for the first time in T20 history, broke into the winner's circle and finished a strong second place in the annual T20 tournament. Good grief, I got hair sticking up. Second place in the annual T20 tournament. Yes, Zerst won again. What a shocker. But this guy put in a challenge, tried to chase him down, came close, but it was not to be. But getting second place and taking home $200 is nothing to sneeze at. Welcome, Kiwi Jacob Grimm. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, hello. I'm doing good. How about you?
So the one thing that I did not cover, that I meant to cover, yeah, Labor Day. On my way home, I discovered that I have captured the common cold.
Oh, wonderful timing.
Yes, yeah, it's like it's still summer. Yeah, the temperature's going down, and then I get a cold very early. What? And I ended up staying home the next 2 days with a really sore throat. It lasted 48 hours, and it just like it went away yesterday afternoon finally. But good grief,
We call that a long weekend.
yeah. But being sick is no fun.
Yeah, true.
I was in the couldn't really go anywhere, couldn't do much. Well, I did some things. I had to keep moving at home just to get the adrenaline up because that seems to help matters. But sucking on mints and drinking a lot of drinks and trying to get that throat to stop hurting. And it's not pleasant having to sleep, and this stupid cat just bit me. Yes, he's going to crash the stream again just any second now. I know he will because that's what he does. He's already crashed it once, and it was not even 10 seconds into the stream. They decided to jump in and do something.
Unplugged a wire.
Oh, so I'll start off with this. Currently, second place at the 24 T20 tournament. What was your assessment of the tournament? I know you answered the same question for Doc Mac, but you've had a little time to think about it. Anything change?
You mean like the game lineup?
Well, the game lineup, your impressions, uh, how the tournament went for you, just pretty much all aspects.
Yeah, it was I enjoyed it a lot more than last time. The last one was good as well, but it felt like pretty much every game this time around was it had something good to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
of course you had your looping, which I didn't hate. I know everyone else did, but yeah, there were a couple stinkers, but like almost every single game was really fun in its own right. So I thought the game lineup was really good. In terms of competition, I mean, it's Zurst. It's Zurst. What can you expect? But yeah, I really had to work for that second place at the end there. Pearl and I were kind of trading places back and forth at like the last 30 minutes. But he was yeah, he put in his last credit up near the end of the time and he said, "I'm good. You can have second." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So
What
it
was he
was
playing?
touch and go for a moment there.
What did he?
What was it he playing? I don't remember. Yeah, I can't
So,
remember which game he was playing, but yeah.
and these are all the games and all the top scores at the
Hmm.
conclusion of T20. Um, Hyperduel has been put out on the floor out of this group. Um, yeah, and I've improved my score on Hyperduel. However, I have not beaten Xerxes' score on. Well, no, correction. Pearl's score. I did beat Xerxes' score on Hyperduel. I got a little higher than he did for second place. They have not entered it yet. I fired it off to JP Pitts. But you got 3 of the house highs this time around, but that was good enough for second place. Now, these are just the top scores. It doesn't say anything about whether you finished second or third.
Yeah, my strategy this time around, it wasn't necessarily to get first in as many things as I could get. And I think that's part of the reason why Xerxes was so far ahead. His strategy was just a lot better than mine. But um, yeah, I was kind of focused on the first day. I had a handful of games that I played religiously just to get like a good score down that I knew would probably last for the rest of the tournament. And then after that, I kind of just sorry, brain fart. But after that, I did some research on the games that needed to be researched a little bit, like what was the name of that one? Marvel Land. When I got
Yeah.
home. Yeah, and then I kind of evened out my time that I played the rest of the games with, so to the point where I would kind of just look at the lowest score that I had and I would try for maybe third, fourth, second place, and then I would call it good, move on to the next one. So my scores on average were a lot higher towards the top than like Pearl, while you'll see that he has a lot of first place scores. I wasn't really focused on first place for most of them. I was trying to work on my averages, but assuming I go back to the next T20, I would like to experiment with Zerth's approach and try to get first in as many games as possible. Because I spoke to him a little bit about his strategy, and I've wanted to see what I could implement next time around.
Now, Doc Beck is talking about changing up the format of T20
Oh,
next
that's
year.
right. Yeah.
He's going to do some sort of team format.
Hmm.
So, 2 teams, I guess, opposing each other, kind of like the Commander series, which didn't exactly pan out because a lot of players that the team captains wanted were not available.
Hmm.
And I tried to make it work because I was picked for Team Mossies. Well, they kept changing the day. I was also in the process of changing jobs. You see how complicated that got.
Yeah.
I also wanted to be at my previous job for the last day, which I rearranged it once, but they changed it on me after I arrived when I took the time off. It's like,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I did it once. I can't get away with it twice. So whoever's there, I guess you're gonna have to pick whoever's there. And they ended up picking whoever was there for the 2 teams to battle it out as the replacement for the 10X title. Yeah. I did happen to notice, looking at these scores though, Bithel, Justin, Zers, so there's 3 players with 5 scores each. Zerst actually got 9 house highs in 2023. I did not. I did not remember. Don't recall how many Pearl and Liming got, but I know Liming got second. Um, Second place last year, but he finished fourth this year, even though he actually got more top scores this time around.
Hmm.
But he still finished fourth, which was interesting. You finished second, but you only got 3.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Monsis and Claudio got the last 3. Shoot. So I had a question from Brandon Travis, King Can Blackman, wanted to know why your favorite game out of this lineup was Dynagear.
Yeah. What I was surprised about is that not many people liked it. I mean, I didn't think I would be having to defend this position, but I don't know. It kind of felt like a Super Nintendo game, like a full console release type of thing. Maybe like a, I don't know, maybe Mega Man is the wrong equivalent here, but I don't know, it kind of felt like a fully fledged stage-based game that you would see on Super Nintendo. And I just thought it was a cool aesthetic and it seemed to work pretty well. Very simple, but the it had some humor to it. It was a little hokey, but I think it played well. And it was fun
I
to figure out some of the bosses.
I mean, I picked up and played this just fine. I had no beefs with this game. Um, there was a game that I didn't care for too much in this lineup, but this wasn't that game. Uh, it took. My biggest problem was there's one particular boss that I could not pass until like the last day, and then I finally passed him. I got so far into the level, but got picked off, and it's like you only got 2 lives, and this
Oh,
goofball
there
has
he is.
crashed. Yes, this idiot. Yeah, I have 2 cats. He's the one who'll crash the string every time. The other one just kind of, she's back there in the kitty bed, the calico. Hide this for a second. Can I pull this up? Oh, there you go. She's up here in that little kitty bed, all quiet.
No,
She's enjoying. And he just bit me. Well, I can take care of that real quick.
Kubo.
Give him a little burst of air to his face, and then he'll behave himself. Maybe. Anyway, I played this. This wasn't. So you thought. So several people didn't like this game, or what? Or
Yeah, I actually heard a lot of people there didn't like it. I know Pearl uh, definitely didn't.
yeah,
I
I
I
would.
couldn't place it, like why people had issues with this game. It just seems really solid.
It's a platformer.
Yeah.
It's a platformer run, like scroll, run, shoot. I guess run and gun. Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I didn't have any beefs with this game. Now, let me see if I can. I wish I could present more than one screen at a time, but see, this is the first level, and this wasn't. This was pretty easy to clear. First level. It's the second boss that's the biggest problem. Let me see if I could skip ahead to this. I'm going to skip ahead to that boss because this guy right here was a royal pain in the butt. This is where I kept losing.
Yeah, I found out with this guy, if you have the axe weapon, if you just stand at the very far left of the screen and just spam shot, 90% of the time he'll jump over you every time. You won't have to deal with him. Sometimes he'll get caught in a loop where he'll just keep biting and moving forward little by little. But yeah, it's generally pretty safe, but only if you have the axe weapon. I think
I mean,
that's
I had
what
the
some
arrow
people are doing
weapon
wrong.
too,
Yeah,
the
it gives you
spear.
the arrow right before, which makes it tough.
Well, the spear will also kind of the same action. It just homes in on the enemy.
Hmm. It's a little weaker. I think it takes longer to proc the jump that he does, so I think that's why it works better with the axe because it does more damage and gets him to jump more often.
Well, whenever they put this game on the floor, it looked like I was only 30,000 points away from the top score. So I managed to get to this level, but this was as far as I got. And climbing up, I guess I got sniped somewhere. I could tell you where. Somewhere around. Well, that's not when I got sniped, but it's close to the end of this. One of these enemies took me out, and that was it.
Right there? Or is it near the top? Because
It's
I know at the
it's
top of
somewhere
the
near the
mountain there's
top.
a
I mean, I had to climb up.
yeah.
I think it was about here.
Yeah, this is the part that's tough. I usually take the mace for this part because they're all
Uh,
over you.
yeah, it looks easy to play, but and those enemies, those weapons look like they can't be broken. You can't get past them, but somehow they still managed to kill me. So who knows? Anyway, lower this down. Ah, let me put this stuff screen. So here's the other, I guess. So how often? I guess let's go to this question. What is the first time you made it to the Galloping Ghost arcade?
Um, I don't know if it was 1 or 2 years ago now, but it was just an idea by Pearl. He contacted a bunch of people he knew and just pitched the idea of us raiding the arcade and taking a bunch of scores. And that's kind of as deep as it went. I didn't know much about the arcade really. I just was down to meet up and go play some arcade games in person. I thought that sounded cool. So we did that. And then like 6 months later, he was like, want to do it again? So I came back down. And then he's like, hey, they do some kind of yearly tournament. Do you want to come down for that? And I said, sure. And then next year, he was like, want to do it again? I said, sure. So I kind of arrive whenever Pearl tells me to, but I have fun whenever I do.
Now you're coming from Arizona.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Are you from Are you originally from Canada, or are you originally from Arizona, or somewhere else?
Just Arizona. Yeah.
Okay. Um, how's the weather down there?
Hot. I think it was over 100 for how many straight days in a row in Phoenix? Um, Actually, I don't have the number in front of me, but some kind of record was broken where it's very, very consistently hot down here. But you actually do get used to it. It's kind of a meme at this point. It's dry heat, but it's
Like
true.
Texas.
Yeah. If there was any humidity in the air, it would be unbearably hot. But um,
I did
it's
have,
bearable as long as you don't have too much direct sunlight.
I'll say my sister did live in Tucson, Arizona for a time, for a few years. She got out of there. She moved to California, then moved to Ohio. But yeah, she spent considerable time in Tucson. I never went because I'm afraid to fly.
Hmm.
I assume you had to fly in every time,
Yep.
not take the train.
Yeah, if only America had that.
I don't know if a train route runs through Phoenix. Does it?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
Would there be one conveniently from Phoenix to Chicago, though? I don't think so.
I mean, you would have to take. So I've ridden the train from my hometown. The Texas Eagle will run from Chicago down to, Dallas, and I'd assume another train would go west towards California. So it would have to run through Arizona.
Mm,
But that'd be a couple-day trip.
yeah.
Um, so when you made it to Galloping Ghost for the very first time, what was the first game you actually played? Or what game
Mm.
was like you saw this and you had to play it right now?
I think it might have been, let me think here. I might have shown up with the Monday mystery game. That might have been the first day that I arrived. In which case, it would have been Zing Zing Zip, because that's what we were all doing. But after that, I went straight for Mushi Hime-sama because that's like my game. I just wanted to set a score on that first and foremost, and then did a little R-Type. But the game that I kept coming back to the most was Silent Scope 2 and Initial D. Those games, like I wasn't expecting to get so hooked by them, but like once I walked over there and tried them for the first time, I spent a really long time in those machines. So I would have to say probably once I got done with the preliminary stuff, probably Silent Scope 2.
And you had the House High still to this day, as well as R Type 2, and then the game name I can't pronounce, which is a shooter mission that starts with the letter
Oh yeah,
M.
Mushi Hime-sama. Hmm.
Yes, you still have both House Highs on that one, and a couple of others. Currently, you're ranked number 18 on the Power
Big
rankings.
fan of Mushihime-sama, by the way.
Oh, you got the
That's the
board.
game right there. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
And
Well, I got an arcade in my. Oh, you got that. Cool.
yeah.
I've got an arcade in the back of my garage.
Oh yeah.
Well, I might as well. You know what? I have not posted these videos for quite a while. Let me see if I got one. Got something recent. But while I'm digging this one up, I'll ask this. What was your very first experience with a video game?
Oh, that's tough. The very first experience I can remember, at least. I
I
know it's got to
guess
be before this, but the first one that I remember is getting Sonic Adventure DX for the GameCube. That I know for a fact that I had an N64 before that, but that's like my first foundational memory, I'd say. Um, After that, I have a lot of good memories with Super Mario 64, you know, the classics. But the first thing I remember is Sonic Adventure.
how old were you at the time?
Um, hmm, that's tough to say.
I mean, you started playing video games about approximately what age?
I've pretty much been playing them since I, you know, gained sentience more or less when I first
Gain
woke up.
sentience.
Yeah.
What does
You
that
know when
mean?
the light bulb clicks on and you start making memories.
Okay, so you're actually playing video games before kindergarten.
I think so, yeah.
That would be accurate. So you were born what year?
2000.
Okay. So you pretty much, yeah, the year 2000, so is basically 64-bit era was kind of getting close. I don't know how far into it was. And then the PlayStation, the Xbox. Gosh, timeline is a little fussy right now. Um, that's my arcade, by the way. If you,
Yeah,
um,
nice lineup. Fair
I've
amount of
had,
machines there.
yeah, they were all in the basement of my house. Well, if I
Hmm.
want anything else, I needed to get them on the ground floor. So the garage was deteriorating. So it was a dream: tear down the garage, build a new one, have a room on the back, insulate it, have its own heating cooling unit, get all the arcade games out of the basement and in that room, and that way I can get other arcade games or pinballs without having to deal with stairs.
Yeah,
Because
stairs
stairs,
are not great.
no, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm on
And
the
I'm not a
second
muscular
floor.
guy either. That's the other problem. Um, hmm.
I'm on the second floor, and getting this thing up here was quite a hassle because there's a turn in the stairway as well, and also there's another door right outside my door, so I had to take the front control panel off this thing and kind of lay it down and snake it through. It's not easy to move these things sometimes.
You had to have help
Yeah.
because those things are not easy. Well, at least it's just one.
Yeah.
Getting the
And
machines
then there
out of
was
the
the
base.
pinball machine.
Oh, you have a pinball?
Uh-huh. I
What
got
pin?
Gottlieb Operation Thunder. Not a very
Okay.
well-known game, but I think it's actually pretty fun. The arcade
I
near me
just
got
like
one
to have
too.
one pinball at least. I don't have one. I don't have one right now.
They're
Unfortunately, they're not going to be cheap to get.
Yeah, yeah. I got that one specifically because it was like right at the lower end of like the pinball price range while still having a fair amount of features, keep it like exciting because I didn't want to get some kind of like $500 EM machine that I was going to get bored of nearly immediately. So I waited for
Yeah,
one that like had a little bit of everything and would keep my attention. So it took quite a while to find one like that in that price range, but I'm
the other
happy with it
problem
now that I've got
is
it.
the other problem is transportation.
Yeah. That thing
If
was
you
like an hour and a half away, had to rent a U-Haul, had to
Yeah.
disassemble it, put it in the back, reassemble it, all that.
Or just
It's
take the legs off at least.
hmm
Because you
the
can
legs
just,
off, top down, stuff like
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
guess disassemble is a bit dramatic, but yeah.
Well, the Pinball Expo is coming up, gosh, not too long from now. About next month, the 40th annual Pinball Expo in Chicago,
Wow.
mid-October. This will be probably the biggest pinball expo. Well, it's a milestone year, so yeah, they're going to go all out.
Hmm.
They actually extended the whole thing another day. And it's already 5 days. Now it's 6.
Wow. Is that when's that happening?
October 15th through the 19th.
Okay.
And
Cool.
KG has subscribed to the Crimeycade, to my channel. Thank you, Chloe Gwen.
I think I know you. I think I saw you at T20.
KG was there at T20, yes. And playing the games, I don't know where the kid ranked. Somewhere. I played enough, just got to qualification. I don't know if I played every game to qualify or not. There's some games KG avoided, but this is the first time uh, this competitor had participated in the T20. All the way from California. I had proposed having this kid on the podcast sometime in the future. Here we go. I had proposed having this kid on the Crimeycade sometime in the future. There will be a little bit of show prep to go on before that. Uh, so there's a lot. Kid has quite the story to tell if they want to reveal it all out in the public. Yep, there's a few did not care for, but you got to play all of them, and I played all of them. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I was a big fan of First Funky Fighter. Played that one a lot.
that game, First Funky Fighter. Yeah, KG had the house high for that one. We're
Which
playing something,
that
yes.
bothers me because I actually have a higher score, but the camera died mid-recording when I got it. So I had to keep the lower score. Yeah. Oh
You know
well.
what? I don't use the house cameras unless it was an absolute last resort. But I have my own camera. I bought my own batteries. I use this to record all my gameplay. I've only had the camera battery well, I have those 7-hour batteries. Well, they only, obviously, the older they get, the less time they run. If I get a good 4 hours out of it, that's good. I got 4 batteries to go through, and hopefully, and take forever to charge. Oh, now he's gonna leave. This turkey. And can let me have the keyboard back. Ah! Go type around. Reach over his body just to type on the keyboard. That idiot. Cheers. I have to drink a lot of liquids because I'm still recovering.
Hmm.
Thank goodness. Yeah, I went
I'm
back to
glad you're
work
over it.
today. Not quite. I got over the sore throat phase. The phase that lasts a couple weeks is your nose constantly running. And of course, nose swelling. That's the biggest pain. Well, that's the second biggest pain to deal with. You also don't want to sleep with your head laid back on the pillow. You want to sleep on your side because all that, gosh, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be coughing up a lot of stuff because that stuff has to drain somewhere. Well, if you're laying on the back of your head, where's it going to go? Down your throat.
Yeah.
Instead
But
of
then when
just
you go on
being,
your side, it goes all in the bed, so can't win.
well, no, it actually doesn't. It kind of just stays put. And I can just periodically get rid of it over during the night when I wake up. Anyway, plus it also hurts your throat. Ah, enough about the common cold, but good grief. I had a few people ask me if I took a COVID test. No, I did not. I don't plan to because I did not lose my taste of, I did not lose my taste buds or my sense of smell. It pretty much ran like a standard common cold. Anyway, shoot. So let me ask you about the arcade scene in Arizona. Is there any good arcades in Phoenix or wherever
Yes,
you live?
actually. I work at one. That's actually why I was late. I was cleaning up after fixing one of the machines. It's Starfighters Arcade in Mesa. It is absolutely worth visiting if any of you have an interest and are in the area. They're only open on the weekends because it's more of a passion project thing. Those are the active hours, but it's got a little bit of everything. We just had an expansion, kind of like Galloping Ghost. They bought the place next to them, broke down the wall, and filled it with machines. Just got We have over 100 arcade machines, and we're only a couple off of 100 pinball machines too. So it's very good for pinball if that's anything you're interested in.
Try to get this up on the screen. There it is.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, now I just realized you were wearing a T-shirt that said Starfighters Arcade on it. You had the logo,
Mm-hmm.
complete with
Represent.
the. So, what games do you have at Starfighters that Galloping Ghost does not have?
Oh, one thing that I really wish Ghost had is a DDR machine. I really like DDR. I've been
Dance
getting
Dance
into it lately.
Revolution.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
trying to pull up the game list right now. Yeah,
that's
I'm
one
looking at
perk of
this.
working at the arcade, especially with it only being open on the weekends. Once I'm done and I'm clocked out, I can just fire up one of the machines and play by myself. So I started playing DDR a few weeks ago and having fun with that.
They
Um,
have a
s-
DDR machine. It's not on the arcade floor. They were thinking about opening another building with a separate building with just rhythm machines,
that sounds
like
awesome.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are in the works. They're talking about adding floors to the arcade.
I've heard.
That's going to be down the road because I don't know when that's going to start, and that's going to cost quite a sum of money. Plus, they got to figure out how to safely add the floors
Yeah.
and make sure the whole structure is supported, which is not going to be easy. Now, there's already kind of technically a second floor because there's an apartment over Canton. I kind of thought when the current tenant moved out, or that it could be turned into like kind of a flop house for gamers to kind of chill. Like, I don't know, a bunch of gamers could rent the building and then or rent the place by the month and then just take turns using it
Hmm.
to save on hotel costs. But I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. I don't know if they'd actually do it. Um, yeah, I'm looking through your list here. Well, there's some driving games. Apart from Dance Dance Revolution, I'm still looking for a game. Atari Football, you have that one. Ghost doesn't. Crossbow, you have that. Ghost doesn't. Let's see what else. Ice Cold Beer, they don't have that. I've suggested that for the pinball place.
Right. Ice cold beer is so much fun.
Doc is, I don't know if Doc's not a fan of it or what, but that's a stand up.
Hmm.
But it's pinball sort of. Let's see. More games in the lineup. Outrun 2, they don't. Outrun 2 is another one that you have that they don't. I'm surprised they got out the first Outrun, but that's it. They haven't gotten the sequel. I
We also
just
have a
almost
moving
I
turbo outrun, the one with the motors that turns with you.
almost said rip off. Rip off was another one, but I think they have it on the floor, but it just hasn't been working.
Yeah, ours doesn't
Uh
work either right now.
oh man. Let's see. I'm looking for the rest. Super shot. Well, that's kind of quasi redemption. Yeah, you have only a couple of games that are different. Oh, Duck Hunt, you got Duck Hunt and Turbo Outrun. Yep, that's it. I'm not even going to the pinball machines because there's a lot of pinballs, but
I'm surprised they
um,
don't have Duck Hunt.
they have very few of the Nintendo versus games.
Hmm.
They have Super Mario, Castlevania, and that's it. I would have. They've had other versus games in the past, but they let those go. Now, obviously, they've got other Nintendo games like Donkey Kong Junior 3 and Mario Bros, but the versus cabinet, no, they only have a couple, and there's plenty of good versus games out there. They don't got it, so
Oh,
well,
one thing that isn't on there yet that we got. I managed to get them to pick up two Sega Net Cities. So we have two candy caps now. And I'm gonna be rotating one of them out with my personal collection. So maybe Mushi will be there 1 month, or Gaiopolis, or Muchi Pork, anything like that, or any of the Cave PGM games. And then the other one, the plan is to set up with a Naomi setup with NetBoot or NetDim, whatever you call it, that has all the games on it, and we'll just like swap them out over time. So that'll be a nice rotating list of games to have in there.
that's what you work for Starfighters. Ever any plans for the arcade to join in the score tracking, like Arcade or Twin Galaxies or
I don't know. I've been meaning to talk to them about that because I think that's a really cool aspect of Ghost that it alone creates a lot of community just when you have like a scorecard above it and have something to shoot for. Because like arcade games are fun on their own, just trying to beat your own high score, but some people don't have that kind of internal motivation. So just having something that says, hey, this is the top three, and you think I might be able to beat one of those, it's a big motivator to get your name on that card. So I think that would be really nice to have. I've considered maybe talking to him about at the very least having like the same scorecard system they have at Ghost, where it's something you could just take off and replace. But yeah, we definitely should get something going.
and he's complaining. God grief. Yeah, like how dare you not pay attention to me? What do you want, little boy? Um, Arcade Wars.
Arcade
Uh,
Wars.
think of another thing. We have this going on every month. Let me hide this for a second. If you want to rejoin the stream, you little
Arcade
goofball, get
Wars.
up here. There. He's just gonna sit here and whine and cry until I give him what he
Oh,
wants.
this
Get up
thing.
here, goofball. So every month, One Up Arcade chooses the game, and then we have the entire month to put up scores. Um, obviously, the Garcade has been killing it this year. Galloping Ghost. Now they're all about original hardware. Well, if you don't have a particular game, you can get away with submitting scores from a multi-game device like Pandora's Box, which Galloping Ghost will never do that. because Doc's an originalist, but not every arcade, like they had to do with, gosh, Wonder Boy 3, I think.
Hmm.
Did anybody have a Wonder Boy 3 board? Well, apparently somebody did, but everybody else didn't have it.
Yeah,
Including
imagine
Galloping
that.
Ghost. Yeah. That was on my Pandora's box and I was streaming it, but not on the arcade
Interesting
floor. And if
idea.
it's not original hardware, it's not going to be on the arcade floor. No emulators allowed. Good policy, but yeah, that'd be something to shoot for.
Yeah, can
Gosh,
definitely
what
mention
else?
this.
What else? How long is it? When did Starfighters open?
Oh man, I think we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary, so that would be 2020 or 2014.
I should ask you this. You know, I watched the Tokens and Taverns documentary recently, and of course, the story starts in February 2020. Well, 1 month later, COVID gets in the way. A bunch of places, everything gets shut down. Some of these beercades didn't survive. How did Starcade survive the pandemic?
Um, you know,
Or were you
I
working for
wasn't
them?
actually going there too much during the pandemic, so I'm pretty sure that not much really changed. I mean, I'm sure everyone masked up, but they were still open to the public. Probably cleaned down the machines a little more, but the Starfighters is surprisingly popular down here. So I guess that people just didn't stop going. Because when you come here on any of the days they're open, it's like pretty packed. So even on their weaker days, probably when COVID was in full swing, they probably still had enough to maintain it. But the one of the owners, he has like so many games in storage in his collection. He'll just like rotate things out every now and then, just because he needs some space or sell things off to make a little extra cash. So maybe he dipped into his collection a little bit. I don't know how the finances were, but yeah, he has a lot of stuff to fall back on.
All right. Um, what were your thoughts on Game 1000? I
Game
You
1000.
went home probably Monday after T20, correct?
Yeah, I wasn't even
But you
thinking about it when I was scheduling my flights.
Yeah, because there was like Game 1000 and Gamer of the Year the following day. But Road Blaster was the game. It was a laser disc from Data East. What did you think of it?
Um,
Are you familiar with it?
I was not familiar with it actually. So I saw a little bit of it on the stream, but I didn't see too much. It seemed interesting, but I mean, games like that aren't necessarily my thing. Stuff like yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily like Dragon Slayer, but stuff like Dragon Slayer with a lot of um yeah, I think you know what I mean. I don't know. It looked cool, but I don't know if it's the kind of thing that I would play too much.
It is hard. Here we go. I got this thing up. I played the console version,
Oh, wait a
but it
second.
is frustrating.
This is not what I thought.
Also known as Road Avenger for the consoles, but this is Road Blaster, the Laserdisc game. Yeah, you weren't familiar with this one?
I feel like I have some kind of false memory implanted in me because I thought I remembered seeing a
There's an
completely different type of game.
Atari.
Unless this is just like
Atari
track mode.
had the game Road Blasters. It just had to be a little bit of a conflict there, but this is, oh gosh, this cat. Road Blaster actually, I believe, came out a year later. Road Blasters with an S came out a year later. It was a driving game where you're shooting at cars, but it was not Laserdisc animation like Dragon Slayer. Kind of a tough game where you also have to upgrade your vehicle, um,
Oh, now that I'm
scoring
seeing
points.
gameplay, yeah, this is what I thought it was.
I just got bit. You know what? Yeah, he ran. He just all I had to do is pick this up, and he ran for his life. I don't know. Full motion, quick time, full motion games were just not my thing. Well, I finally got the Daphne emulator rigged up, but timing's everything on this, and it's like I can't get hit it too early, hit it too late, and some of the time it'll let you hit it early in anticipation of your next move, but then sometimes it just wants you to uh, punch it at the exact moment you got to jump and stuff.
Hmm.
Like Dragon Slayer. It's a pain. And yes, KG says the game 1000 rules because KG has the world record on Road Blaster. So,
Really?
the first 1cc. Um, Gamer of the Year. What were your thoughts on Gamer of the Year? There's been a lot of discussion on that one.
Um, you know, he I would say he probably, in terms of skill, he probably deserves it, but it was still strange to see him win it again, you know? Um, yeah, I don't know. It was it kind of seems like once you get it once, it should go to someone else, in my
It should
opinion.
be
But
harder to get it again. Put it
yeah,
that way.
yeah. But if you think about it long term as a purely skill based thing, based on his T20 performance, I mean it definitely makes sense on paper, but I'm just not sure about how many times someone should be able to get the same award. But I don't run the thing. It's
Yeah.
I can't say I'm like broken up about it. Just kind
Well, you're
of
in
caught in my
Arizona,
head,
so
you know.
like you're only there like a couple times a year.
Hmm.
Speaking of that, a couple times a year, your travels throughout the country. Um, how many different arcades have you been to? What are some of your memorable, I guess, visits?
How many arcades have I been to? I think I've mainly just traveled to Galloping Ghost and Starfighters. I've checked out a few other places around here, like a level one arcade. But I don't know. Level one arcade kind of, it's like a barcade. It kind of more fulfills the aesthetic of an arcade than like a real substantive one. It has some good pinball though. So I've just haven't found anything in Arizona quite like Starfighters. So Starfighters and Galloping Ghost are definitely the best ones I've been to, but also I haven't been to all of them.
Right.
I did go to a Stunfest in France where they had a setup with some really nice arcade machines. It was they had a bunch of Sega Astro Cities which with original hardware, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know where the machines came from. I think it might have been from a local arcade that they drove out some machines for. So that kind of counts, you know. But that was a great experience because everything was in really nice condition. I would love to see more like full candy cabinet arcades, but I recognize that's very difficult and expensive to do these days, especially with how unobtainium the monitors are for those machines. Because yeah,
You're more
like
likely to see candy caps at round one.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of their niche.
Um, Tell me some of your other, I guess, favorite experiences as a gamer.
Hmm. Favorite experience. I would probably say, well, one would definitely be Stunfest. I so I was it was like a perfect right place, right time scenario where Stunfest is a French event that has like a lot of they run a fighting game tournament, they have some speedrunning demonstrations, and they also have a shoot 'em up section to it where they have some live demos. And the year they were wanting to do some indie shoot 'em ups to feature, the guy who was like scouting out a bunch of people, he noticed that I recently put in some really good scores for Blue Revolver. I took the record in all three categories concurrently and used like um a new secondary that no one else was using at the high end. So he just thought that was cool and invited me to participate in Stunfest that year. And it was like insane. They paid for the flight, they paid for the hotel, they paid for meals. I just said yes. They gave me everything. I showed up for free. It was like a dream come true. Like that was insane. I wouldn't say that I've, profited off of being good at games because, it's not money in the bank, but it was still just insanely cool to just because I was like good at a game and they wanted to see me play that I got all these things. So I think that was probably my coolest moment
I
because
would like to participate in some tournaments where there's like prize money or prizes on the line. Obviously,
well,
T20.
T20, yeah.
They didn't do a side tournament this year, much to my disappointment, because
Yeah.
I had won the last three. Um, Midwest Gaming, I participated in tournaments up there the last couple of years. Took home, a, pardon me, a sizable sum of money in 2023. They kind of changed things up this year. The grand prize is still the same. But I'd like to. Everybody's everybody goes bonkers over pinball tournaments. I'm not so good at pinball, but trying to find an actual arcade tournament that's not, let's say, a fighting game tournament or Mario Kart
It's
or
hard.
where are these tournaments?
Mm-hmm.
And then and then I want championship belts too. Would be nice. It's like, where are they? It's like Galloping Ghost has theirs, but that was one of the few. Underground Retrocade did a summer long tournament this year, which I covered earlier, and I'm probably going to enter that next year because that's also in the Chicago area, different part of Chicago. I've been up there in years, but what's on the line for that one? I'm not sure, but I hope it's more than just bragging rights. Like maybe they award a championship belt to whoever comes out on top. That would be nice. Oh,
It,
I know
it's
it.
it just
Go
seems
ahead.
like a very untapped market, I guess, because I mean, like we're saying, there's only a couple places that do this, but there's a lot of very passionate people who would fly out for stuff like that. I mean, me included. I don't know, like it just seems like fighting games get all the love in the arcade sphere.
Yeah, which, believe it or not, even though fighting games are not really my wheelhouse, I've been participating in those Bloody Wars tournaments. Oh gosh, speaking of which, I might as well just show this. Let me see. Oh, I gotta do this again. I keep having to switch windows, and it's like I can't share screen twice. Well, yeah, these guys are coming to Chicago. So let's go retro this weekend. Yeah, I know I kicked tail in Breaker's Revenge. However, That's got to be a Blade Wars game sometime in the future, and that's not going to be a Blade Wars game next time around, because next time around it's going to be this game, Marvel vs. Capcom, which I also have a little bit of announcement. I'm not going to be able to do this tournament on 15th, unfortunately. I'm going to be doing something else the day before because I'm needed somewhere. If I didn't get sick the last 2 days, I probably would have taken Monday the 16th off to run up there Sunday and then do this tournament. But I got sick. So, my regular job, the ticket count's been going down. It's like I still missed 2 days. It's a little too soon, though I still got to burn like 8 days before the end of the year. What am I to do? I don't know. I played this game in the best of 7 challenge, and I still lost at this. Are
there a bunch of infinites in that game, just like Marvel 2?
I don't know. What they did do was ban hidden characters.
Okay.
Because they, I guess, were a little more higher powered than the regular roster. And of course, yes, Nora Vale, who I believe is lurking in the stream chat, celebrating a birthday today, would like to recapture the Blade Wars Championship currently held by Aiden Cordova, who beat JP Pitts and Power Stone. Which I'm going to remind him of that all the time. Anyway. Oh! And something happened there. Jacob disappeared. Yes. We lost Jacob. Nope, he's back.
Okay, I'm back.
A little bit of an interruption, I guess. Yes, Norbert has just rang up. Anyway. Yeah, where was I? How good are you at fighting games?
I'm okay. I never put in too much serious time grinding them, but like with the new release, I think I got to I don't want to get this wrong. Let me look at the ranks for Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah, that game is also going to be upcoming. I didn't put it in the presentation, but November, Galloping Ghost Blade Wars Tournament will have the, it will not be at Galloping Ghost. It'll be somewhere, a different location for the first time ever. I think it's in LaGrange, which is next door to Brookfield. I'd have to look this one up, but I think I'm going to be in that one. However, Nova Vale has, what in the world? Oh, this is old. Anyway. What's he messaging me now? Anyway, Blade Wars. Gosh darn it. I clicked the wrong page again. Doggone it. Anyway. Well, it's going to be November, I think, 15th or something. It's going to be Street Fighter 6. It was a reschedule. Gosh, I can't get it.
I hit, I believe, platinum in either 5 or 6. It might have been 6. But, yeah, so I'm better than an ape slapping the buttons, but, I'm not master.
I can do the moves. Not Over Vale has stated that what is holding me back is because I'm panicking too much on trying to do the quarter circle, or where it requires multiple quarter circles before hitting the button to fire your projectile.
Yeah, slow is accurate and accurate is fast.
Yeah, but doggone it, these other players managed to get their shot off without any issue, which drives me up the walls. Like, golly, jeez. I'm trying to get the date on this tournament. Well, darn it, they don't even have it on the Blade Wars site, the actual date. God, freaking Lord. Oh, here it is. Why couldn't I find this earlier? Ah, I gotta share screen again. We're not gonna be going too much longer because my voice is starting to. Well, my voice is not holding up, I don't think. There it is. November 16th, 12 p.m. Got $30. Oh, it is in Brookfield. It's
I
just
feel like
down
I
the
saw
street.
this.
It's down the street from Galloping Ghost. I believe at the former Brooksies.
Was this
Which is,
being advertised at Ghost?
there's probably posters somewhere.
Okay, because
But
I thought I remembered seeing this actually.
it is not a Galloping Ghost hosted tournament, however. So, but this is the very first time they're doing this off-site. So that's upcoming. I'm gonna get this kind of close to the end because my voice is not holding. Yeah, I'm still recovering. Why is this up? Let me hide this. There we go. Geez, why are my personal Facebook showing up? Anyway, future goals.
With in relation to Ghost or in with arcade games in general?
Gaming in general.
Okay, so
That can cover everything.
I have been playing Crazy Taxi for this past week and a half, and that game has captured me to say the least. Currently have 50K, but I really want to hit 100K arcade default settings. And we have it at my arcade too, so I'd love to do it there. But yeah, 100K Crazy Taxi, definitely want to do that. Um, Another thing, it's not
Somebody ran up
arcade.
35,000 at the Ghost recently
Oh
to
yeah.
take the house high.
Oh, that's the house high?
Yeah,
Ooh,
35,000.
I gotta play that again once I go down there. I've
Okay.
I have a spreadsheet I've been trying to memorize with all 246 customers and their three possible routes. Now I'm not memorizing like each and everything, but like groups and patterns and stuff, so that I can know which customers to take to progress through the stage, so I can keep doing loops. It's a lot, but it's like really helping. But yeah, I'm taking
There's
it pretty seriously.
apparently only 255 customers on the entire map. The only the I've only heard of somebody getting all of them but one. I assume if you deliver all 255, then the game is pretty much over because you're pretty much getting the equivalent of the kill screen.
I've heard the timer just ticks down until it ends.
Yeah, which is, oh gosh, I guess you can hang on to your last passenger, just do tricks or something. I don't know.
Yeah. You can actually do infinite backdrifts to get like an insane amount of money. So I guess the strategy would be to get as much time as humanly possible for the last customer and then just backdrift around the circle and get maybe like 20K off of him. But yeah.
20,000. Oh,
Yeah,
good enough.
usually it's not really something you can do to get that much off of one customer, but if you have like multiple minutes to spare just to spend on one guy, then yeah, 20,000 is realistic. The console exclusive modes, for example, like you know how you can do work for 3, 5, or 10 minutes,
Yeah.
those are totally broken because you can just pick up one customer and backdrift and get $1 million and just drop them off, and that's it.
Well, if the customer timer runs down to zero, the customer will jump out of the car and you get nothing.
But that's the thing. Usually they'll do that. but if you're within a certain range to their drop-off point, they'll never jump out. So if like the fire station especially is a good place for this, where the ground doesn't slow you down enough to where you can't backdrift, and it's like a big open area, so you can just like go right on there, backdrift around, they'll never leave, and then you just stop when the timer's about to run out. But of course, that doesn't work in arcade mode because you only have a small amount of time. You need to get more by getting more and more customers, so that
Doc
doesn't
would
make
probably
sense to do.
throw the score out just because you're like getting points in a way that's not in the spirit of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully, it's not too big of an issue in arcade mode. It's mainly just those console modes where you have like a set time limit where you can just abuse it so much.
Is there any place, any gaming mecca you'd like to go to that you haven't been to yet?
Just for the reputation, I think Fun Spot would be fun to go to at some point. It's, it's just fun spot. I don't think too much needs to be said there. I would also like to go to any Japanese arcade. I really want to go to Japan because I have the world record for Maniac and Ultra no auto fire with Mushihime-sama, but JHA or Japan uses something called the JHA, which is the Japanese High Score Association, and they only verify scores that have been done in verified locations. So in
Yeah.
order to break a JHA score, you have to do it in Japan at a Japanese arcade. So as far as the JHA is concerned, I don't have like the top score because it wasn't done there. So I would love to go to Japan at some point and break the score there.
A gaming museum?
Oh yeah, that place seems cool. The Pinball Museum too.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
you're next door to Nevada, so yeah, there's the Pinball Museum
actually,
or
didn't
Hall of Fame.
did the Pinball Museum shut down, or am I?
No, the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas is still open. I have not heard anything unless you're thinking of some other place.
Yeah, I must have been thinking of a different place. Yeah.
There is a museum in Frisco, Texas. There is somebody who's wanting to open a museum in California, which I may someday have him on this podcast to talk because he's contacted me wanting to buy my car, buy or at least purchase the paraphernalia relating to the campus challenge. Um, well, if you were to ever win Gamer of the Year, what game would you put on the floor? Now you work at Starfighter, so you could practically do that now. But let's say some miracle happened that you won the title. Well, that could have happened. I gave you 10% odds of winning Gamer of the Year because you finished second. But
You know, probably it's kind of mean to do this because it's so expensive, but probably Moochie Moochie Pork. Have you ever heard of that one?
no, I have not. Now I gotta. Now I gotta.
So
I've
the
got.
game
Let me get this
is
game up.
certifiably weird. I have to admit to that much.
Can you spell it
But
partially?
Moochie, Muchi. So Moochie, Moochie,
M-U-C.
and then pork, as in, pork.
Oh, poor. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, so
Ah,
the
here we
game
go.
is certifiably weird and has an odd theming. Just putting
I
that out there
apparently
right off the
watched
bat.
some of this already. A second.
So it's a cave shoot 'em up. Um, but it's one of the Yagawa Cave collaboration games.
Here it is.
But this is the most cave-like of the Yagawa
Most
Cave.
cave-like.
Yeah, because Yagawa makes games his way, But this one that he collaborated with Cave, like it's not as Yagawa. It has a lot of Yagawa aspects, but it still kind of feels like a Cave game. So this is basically, I don't know if you've ever played Blue Revolver. That's an indie
Nope.
game. But it basically lifted the scoring system from this game with some alteration. But the scoring system just works so perfectly. It's so simple and easy to explain as well. You just get pigs by killing stuff with shot, and then you kill stuff with your special shot by using those pigs, and then medals pop out. And you gotta keep balancing how much meter you get by killing things with shot and trying to maximize the amount of things that you kill with oh wait, this is actually my video. I just realized.
It is. Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I have the PCB. This is direct capture. Um, but yeah, the game just works so well. I think it's legitimately one of Cave's best games. It's very rare though, very expensive, and it's not emulated very well, and the port has some slowdown issues too. So there's nothing quite like PCB. I just think it would be a great addition.
Well, Galloping Ghost managed to get Sky Skipper, so
Yeah.
it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could track this game down. Although, how much would they have to pay for it? That's the only question.
So, um, when I say reasonable price, I mean relative to what it's worth. I paid I looked like for 4 years to find this game at a reasonable price. And what this game typically goes for is about $3,000. And
Without a
um,
cabinet.
yeah, just the board. Like the board I brought over earlier, it's the same. Well, it looks exactly the same.
Now you gotta put at Starfighters, like, I don't know, have a high score competition on this game for a month or something.
Oh, it's perfect for that too, because like you can do so much scoring without any routing. Like it's just game feel. The game is so well designed.
Well, maybe you
But
can
yeah.
donate it. Maybe you can bring it out for have it as a T20 game. Although Doc probably would have to
Oh,
keep it.
interesting idea.
I don't know if he would do a T20 game where the board is just loaned to him. Well,
Huh.
there's a
That's an
first time
interesting
for
idea though.
there's a first time for everything. The only
Yeah.
problem is he wants it to be a complete surprise to everybody. And if you're in the tournament,
Oh.
that would kind of give you an unfair advantage.
Yeah, considering the score here as well.
Well, you've already
Um,
played through the game, yes. I don't know about anybody else, but
yeah.
I
Also,
know
there's only 450 of these.
in existence.
Yeah. They made
Well,
500, but it sold really poorly, and then they converted 50 of them.
then again, Doc Mack managed to get 2 copies of Contra Evolution, and there was only 50 of those ever made in China, which practically was the only country it was released in. One board
Yeah.
is up in Wisconsin. The original release of the game, well, to Galloping Ghost anyway, is sitting at Vintage Vault Arcade in Wisconsin, and they got an original dedicated cabinet for the Ghost. So never
Yeah,
say
he kind of has a
never.
knack for these things, doesn't he?
Never say never. They, who knows what will happen? Who knows what game they will pull out of the vault next? Because we don't know. Doc ain't telling us. We can suggest, but we don't know. And plus, he's out of room in the arcade.
Sometimes I wonder if Doc knows. Like he just has a spare room of unannounced PCBs. You know, he's like, we'll use this one this week.
That I don't know what goes in the thought process of how he chooses which game to pull out which week. Now, obviously, he's got all the T20 games to pull out. If he needs something on the double that's not, let's say, a non-T20 game. He pulled out a non-T20. He pulled out a non-T20 game this week, which was out of nowhere. Cosmic Alien. But the game was not working, or whatever his original choice is
Oh,
not working, he's got 20 other, or not right now, 19 other choices, I guess. Boy, this is a bizarre one. I wonder
yeah.
how the
There's a lot of
Angry
boss
Birds.
milking, so
Yeah, I wonder how the Angry Birds would handle this shooter. Anyway, all right. Well, I think we've come to the end of the podcast. Anything you want to plug?
Hmm.
Just
Well, besides Starfighter's Arcade,
I'll throw this back up here. There we go.
besides Starfighter's Arcade, I do have a YouTube channel where I barely upload, but in that sense, the catalog is pretty pure. I only really upload when I have a run that I feel is worth uploading. So if you want to
There
subscribe to
it
that,
is.
then feel free
Kiwi
to.
S. There it is. Kiwi STG. There, I
Thank you very
subscribed.
much.
Now you got 704 subscribers. Yeah,
Oh
you
wow,
got
I'm
some.
actually getting close to 1,000.
Yeah, you kind of have to campaign for subscribers, but
Yeah, I really don't do that usually, but I figure, I'm here. Might
all
put out
right,
something good eventually.
all right, Jacob. I want to thank you for joining me. I wish I was feeling better because I don't think I was at my level of skill as an interviewer. Of course, I'm pretty much a rank amateur, so whatever.
No problem, no problem.
Common cold, especially in the middle of summer, absolutely sucks. I don't wish it upon anyone, but it is what it is. I hope to see you back around the arcade soon.
Yeah, I probably will. Just Pearl's got to tell me to, and I'll just say yes.
Well, I mean, you can run up here without Pearl. You
But
could
it's
get a bunch of guys
tradition.
together from Arizona, get a bunch of Starfire fighter players, and make a caravan up to Galloping Ghost, and kind of like, I don't know, we could have the Battle of the Arcades, like the best of seven series between Starfighters and Galloping Ghost's best and brightest former gamers of the year. That might be something.
Yeah, I gotta get started fostering a scoring community down here. Because there's a lot of people who love the games, but not really like diehard competitive score attack players. But once I get something figured out for keeping track here, I'm sure I can get something going.
You gotta get a championship belt too.
Yeah.
Trade around. All right, Jacob. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, it's 10:40 here, but it's only gosh 8:41
Hmm.
your time. Mountain Standard and Pacific. Yep. All right, Jacob. Have a good night.
Thanks for having me. You too.
The game is never over. Good night. All right. A few more things before I get out of here. Let me move this. There's a couple things I need to. Few more announcements before I get out of here. Yeah. Talk about October. That's coming up. By the way, I am going to raid a channel, so stand by. I got to figure out who am I going to raid. I might as well kind of get that rolling in a second. Because who am I going to raid? Once I get through the announcements here. Oh gosh, Mossy's streaming again. I don't know how long he's going though. But I'm gonna give Mossy Sagopian the raid because he's speedrunning Legend of Zelda. But give it a moment here. Let me run through this and then we'll raid his channel. Um, yes, this is coming up, the Rock River Valley Video Game Convention to kind of kick off a week of gaming convention up in Northern Illinois, because right after that is the Pinball Expo, the 40th show spectacular. I will be defending the Galloping Ghost Pinball Expo Championship. I'm going to be cutting promos on the convention floor. So stay tuned for that. I'm probably going to start cutting a promo in the next, not too long from now. I need to buy my 3-day pass. Next week, actually, I do have somebody. George Spranos will be back as a returning guest on the podcast next week. So that will be September the 12th. Right back here. He might be doing it from the Garcade itself. So join me next week here on the podcast. But until next time, I am the Mad Conservative Crime Fighter, and you've been watching the Crimeycade, and have a good night, everybody, and see you next week. Stay tuned for Mossies.